Your girl just got off of work, and I just wanted to chat because today, honestly, my mood was very, very low. I just want to talk a little bit. I'm over life. I feel burnt. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out from everything. Literally everything. Personal life, work, everything. And it's honestly nothing that I especially when it comes to work, like I like my job. I love my job actually. I just I don't know, I feel like because I'm not happy in life where I am, like everything is kind of just like I'm over this. Like I'm really, really over this. And today I had an interview and it really threw off my self-esteem, low-key. But it's already kind of been what I've been thinking, but it kind of just, it's just like, maybe I'm not worth it. I don't think I'm worth it. I'm starting to think I'm not worth it. And honestly, I'm tired. I have been trying to move out of state. Honestly, I've been trying to move out of state since 2020, but I wasn't taking it as serious until I want to say probably about the last 2-3 years. Yeah, because I remember I applied, I interviewed. This was like fresh pandemic. I was interviewing and everything, but she didn't select me, and she really, really liked me, but she told me that she didn't select me only because I wasn't physically in the state, which I was just like, okay, I understand, because they didn't have time to, I guess, wait for me to get there or whatever. And I didn't know anything about property management at the time. So I was just like, you know what, I understand, because this is when I was I want to say I was a maintenance coordinator, and then I was trying to get into leasing, do the leasing part of things. And this is when I was trying to move to Jacksonville, because there was this girl I used to watch on YouTube all the time, of this girl that lived in Jacksonville. And I was like, I want to move to Jacksonville. I want to flourish and move to Jacksonville. So that's always have been my goal. At first, it was always been Florida, and I'm going to move to Jacksonville. Then I was like, okay, if not Jacksonville, I'll be open to Orlando. Then I started watching this show on Netflix. I forgot what it was called, but it was something like, it was about these people that was just young. I think it was like something in your 20s living in Tampa or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, like Tampa seems cool. Like Florida is really for me. Like, doesn't matter if I do Tampa, Orlando, or Jacksonville. I would prefer Jacksonville because I felt it was more people of my color there. But, I wouldn't mind Tampa too. And at the time, I knew of this girl, and I remember she was from Tampa, but she lived down here. And I would always ask her about Tampa and like, hey, da-da-da. Tampa this, Tampa that. And I just heard so many great things, and I started to do research, and I started to, look into it. But I also had the fear of living in a state where I had no family, no support, nothing, nobody to come with me. So that kind of just held me back from going, because I was just like, if something happens, if shit fucks up, like, I'm fucked. Excuse my language, but that's how I felt. Like, I just felt like, yeah, like if something goes down, like I don't have nobody to rely on. I don't have nobody to call. I don't have nobody to do anything. And I was so afraid. But also I realized, because I'm like, okay, what if I do go out there? I have this attachment to my family because I always feel like I am missing something. I'm missing out on things. So I just know how I was going to be like if I moved. Like, dang, I'm missing my brother's birthdays and just doing random stuff that we like to do, like go to IHOP together as a family and doing this and doing that. So I was just like, I don't know if my family Like, I don't know if I can leave my family, and I know my family's not going to come with me, because I always would try to like convince my mom, like, hey, we should all move to Florida together. Like, we're struggling here. Let's just move to a different state. Da, 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 da. But my mom is just more so like, it's harder to do that when you have kids and you have this and you have that. And da, 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 like changing schools, this and the third. You should go. You have no kids. You should flourish. Why are you worried about us? Go live your life. And I was like, yeah, I understand, but I didn't understand because I was just like, I see people that move with their kids all the time. So I don't understand what's so hard about it. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's just the location. She doesn't want to do that, or that's just not her preference or where she wants to go. So, but I was like, I can't force people to go places that they don't want to go. So I was just like, okay, maybe I just need to focus on myself and actually go. I would apply to jobs throughout the last few years. I would apply to jobs, may get an interview here, may get an interview there, but never really heard back. Or it was because, if I did hear back, it was like, oh, this person is physically here in the state, like, reach out to us when you're physically here. Because me, I always had this fear of, well, I'm not moving to another state and I don't even have a job. So how can I relocate somewhere and I don't even have a job? Like, you're telling me, oh wait, reach out to you when I apply. But I'm like, I'm gonna be out there, but how can I do that? And then I started to, obviously, YouTube and TikTok, when I see people be like, oh, I moved out to so-and-so state with only $500 and this, that, and the third, no family, no nothing. But I would just be like, there's just nowhere. There's just no way that you did that. That sounds impossible. Like, that sounds really, like, you got to be doing something else. And especially the females, I always see. But I'm like, these people that are saying this, they was making money from content, or they was selling cat. Or, like, this is what they were doing. Or they did bartending. They did that. I don't have experience in any of that. Like, okay, yeah. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to kill anyone. Not kill anyone, but like, I don't know how to say it, but it's just like, I don't want to compare myself in a bad way, or, in that way. But how I always see it is, imagine I go from a corporate office job and then I go to food service, bartending, and that just doesn't compare. I'm not, whoever who does that, that's cool. Shout out to you, but that's just me. I personally just cannot do that. The most I'll probably do is, I'll probably maybe be a bottle girl. But as far as people that's working at like McDonald's and stuff like that, like, that's just, I just don't see myself doing that. I can't do food service. I can't work at a Fridays. I don't know. That's just never been me. So I literally always had a serious job, if that made sense. Like, my first job was DSW, but I didn't have that for long. I went straight into having a state job working with childcare. Like, I did that. And excuse me. And then from there, from childcare, that's when I went into school. Then when I got out of school, I worked at UPS, but that was just only overnight. And I was also still doing school at the same time because pandemic. And then I literally went straight into having a big girl job in property management. I was a maintenance coordinator. Like, it was just, I did those little small jobs while I was still in high school and stuff. But I've always went straight into this. Like, most people, like, okay, after college, or after high school, they, have that retail, or it's either retail or food service job, or working bartender, cashier, whatever. But that, I just never got to that point. When I did work at DSW, it wasn't for long. I didn't even think, I want to say it was like maybe 4 months. I know it wasn't a whole full year, but it wasn't that long. And I started that when I was 17, because I remember they kept on trying to make me work after the set permit hours for Montgomery County for people that was minors or whatever, because they kept on confusing me with another girl named Sierra, which that's on their fault. They messed up, and it's just like, I don't understand how you don't know your employees enough to realize who was who. But okay, because I remember they tried to fire me, or they did fire me. I don't even remember, but they were like, oh yeah, you had 8 call outs. I'm like, 8 call outs because you guys scheduled me during the time I was in school. And then it was like, oh, we didn't realize, oh, da da da. But I was just like, you know what, I don't even care. Like, because I'm like, I remember they called me and they apologized too. And then the other girl, because me and her, we never worked the same shift, because she was like, always wondered why they weren't giving me hours, which didn't make sense because she was older than me. Like, and I was like, yeah, they kept on trying to schedule me during hours I'm at school, and that's when I would call out. But at the time, I didn't know. This is my first job, so I'm like, I don't know right from wrong, so I was just calling out. But now I know. But yeah, so I just didn't even fight. I just was like, I don't even care. Like, DSW is not my thing. This is not my thing. But anyways, I feel like I'm rumbling too much. Today, I had an interview, but this company has also kind of been giving me red flags, because this is the first I've worked for this company before. And when I did work for this company, there was no interview. But I feel like there was no interview because I knew the person, so I didn't have to do an interview. But it's kind of like, because I was like, okay, like, you know, I wouldn't mind working for them again, because this was my first property management job. I was a maintenance coordinator. So when I first did stuff with them, it was a little iffy, it was a little shady. And to be honest, I'm surprised, you know, because I didn't like the girl that helped me get the job, because it was like she would talk to me a kind of way because she knew my dad, and just be disrespectful, and I just wasn't with it. And it was like, okay, just because you know my dad, that doesn't mean you have to talk to me any type of way, be disrespectful. Like, I don't know you like that. Like, yeah, that's my dad, but me and my dad not even that close. Like, yeah, my dad put me onto this job, but baby, the only person who could talk to me like that is my mom, and you're not my mom, and you're not about to be disrespectful. And I remember, like, granted, yes, there was a situation where, you know, I was a little too brutally honest, but I didn't know at the time. Like, I didn't know how to lie. I was never raised to be a liar. I don't know how to lie to anybody, so I was telling the truth. But it was her personal opinion, and like her personal, like, attack, and just saying her personal stuff. And I felt that was kind of disrespectful, because I remember I had to call out for something. I'm actually not even going to get to that. But she was just like, that's not your responsibility. You need to be doing this. And it was just very rude and disrespectful. So, yeah. Never liked her. Still don't like her to this day. If I see her, cool. But I ain't like her. But I interviewed for that company again, because I was like, you know, I actually didn't mind the job. I just didn't like where I was working at. So this time I was applying to be a community manager. First, it was assistant property manager, but the regional told me, she was like, oh, hey, you know, yes, you applied for assistant property manager, but we have this community manager position, you know, open, and da-da-da, like, would you be interested? I was like, sure. Honestly, at first, I've been doubting myself, because I'm like, I don't think I'm qualified to be a community manager. I feel like I'm still learning my role as an assistant property manager, but I was like, if somebody is offering it to me, I wouldn't turn it down. But how I just feel is just, I need to stop doubting myself and actually push myself to do things. So yeah, I need to push myself. So I interviewed for it today, but it was kind of just like a slap in the face, pretty much. And they were just not very rude, but he was rude. He wasn't rude. He was just honest. And he was just like, honestly, and he has every right to feel how he felt. It was with the vice president, but he was just like, you hop jobs a lot. And only reason why he's saying that, and it makes me so mad, is because what he's talking about had nothing, it was out of my control, and that's what makes me frustrated. And it started to make me feel like I'm never going to be able to go anywhere because of this, because these property sales that I was put into that I had no control over. And it was kind of just like, I don't know. And if you work in property management, you understand. So, and then it's harder when you're trying to leave property management and still try to explain why you're hopping jobs, because technically I didn't quote unquote hop jobs. I still stayed at the property. I just went on with a new management company that took over. And no matter how many times I changed my resume, I went to resume workshops, I've done the coaching for interviews, everything is kind of just like, I'm starting to give up. I'm starting to give up because it's the same thing over and over again. They think that, oh, I'm a risk of leaving and this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the reason for those is because of the property sales that was out of my control. And I had no other choice but to find a job. They made me sign papers that I had to do this or do that. And I only had one contract job. And that was the job before this job that I have currently. And yes, I just started this job back in October. It's nothing personally wrong with what I'm doing now. It's just, I saw the opportunity, I applied for it, and yeah, I mean, I'm not explaining it to them in that way, but, and it's just like, I feel like you should understand that if I'm willing to move out of state for this job, why the heck would I try to leave in 6 months? Like, I don't know. That's just how I think, but I got to see it from a business perspective. They want to show loyalty, which I understand and I get it, but it's kind of frustrating, and it's starting to make me question my self-worth. And I just sometimes feel like I'm not worth it. Nobody is willing to take the risk for me. And I'm tired of trying to prove myself that I'm worth it. I feel like I'm proving myself in a lot of different ways, for work, friendships, relationships, everything. I just feel like I'm proving myself and trying to show that I'm such a good person and this, that, and the third, but I'm drained from doing that. I'm drained. I'm tired of showing I have to prove myself. I don't want to have to keep proving myself anymore. Like, and it's annoying. Like I said, I've done the work. I've done everything to try to, I changed my resume multiple times. I've done this, I've done that. Like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else. There's a company that I've been trying to get into, and I counted how many times I submitted an application with them. I have over 30 applications with them. Never, only interviewed with them one time. One time. I don't know how many times I have submitted an application, but I do know that I go on a spree of submitting applications to the point where I even forget where I applied to when people call me, because it's like, okay, I get a call and I may get an interview, but it's even rare I get a call for an interview. So it's kind of just like, I don't know. And then I get feedback from recruiters, and they kind of just say the same thing, and I explain to them, like, and it just doesn't make sense to me, especially because, like, okay, clearly I have my experience in property management, and I try to, if I try to go outside of property management and explain it, I can understand if they don't get it, because like I said, if you work in property management, then you understand. And especially if you don't own properties or whatever, then you know how it is. But when you're trying to apply for a job in property management and is still trying to explain the same stuff again. And it's just like, you as somebody who works in property management, I feel like you should understand that, like, that's out of my control. I don't know when the ownership is going to want to sell the property and my job is at risk and I got to apply for a new job. I don't know when that's going to happen. It's unfortunate that it happens I'm about 6 months into my position. A property sold as soon as I got a promotion. It was like 30 days later, they were like, oh yeah, we just got word that, in 90 days, the ownership, our contract is ending with the ownership, and, we gotta apply for another job again, and we gotta interview for a job. And that doesn't guarantee that you're going to get another job within the company. You still have to apply and still have to compete with other people's properties who are selling too. Yeah, you have seniority or whatever the word is, but you still have to apply and they still have to accept you. So you're pretty much applying for your job again. And it's frustrating. Stuff like this, like, I don't know. I say I want to give up all the time, but I still try. But I'm really burnt. And I'm really not trying to cry right now, but I don't feel good enough. I don't feel good enough in anything that I do. I don't think I'm going to excel anywhere in anything that I put my hard work and effort into. All I do know is that I want to move out of state, and I do want to start over, and I want to excel in my career and actually be happy in my career and not deal with a manager who is micromanaging, messes, with my mental. Like, I actually want to be happy somewhere. And I can say that I'm actually happy where I am now as far as work, but I'm not physically happy in the state of Maryland. It's so weird to say, but it's just like I'm not happy here. I feel like I'm not happy here because of everything else that's happening in my life that I just want to run away from. I want to start fresh. I've been in Maryland all my life, and I don't feel like it's for me anymore. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out from everything. I'm burnt out to the point I don't want to talk. I don't want to speak. I don't want anybody to hear from me, but I have to do what I have to do. I have to get up and pay bills, but I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do anything. I'm so burnt out from just everything. I'm over life. And I don't know why I'm being put into this. Like, I don't know what message is trying to come to just, I guess, be patient. But how long to be patient for? Like, I'm just over it. I'm over trying to do so much. Like, I feel like I have to keep proving myself that I'm worth it. And I'm just tired of doing that. I'm tired. I'm tired of showing that I need to push myself or whatever. Like, I'm just tired. I'm just tired of doing the same thing that I gotta I'm just tired. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I wish things were easy for me, but life is not easy, and I know that, but I'm just tired. And everybody would used to say, "Oh, Sierra, it's easy for you to get, you got it, you got everything." No, it's not. Like, I'm just tired. Like, I'm tired. These situations have messed me up forever. It's annoying to have to keep on hopping jobs and finding a new job, or I just want peace. I just want to be happy. I just want something. Like, I was generally happy probably about maybe 2 jobs, 3. I would say it's 2 because it's under the same company, but I was actually excited to go. And I'm excited here, but I don't know. And I probably don't make sense or sound stupid. And I know you guys are just going to say, "Oh, just keep having hope. Just keep having hope." I'm never going to be able to leave out of here. I'm stuck in Maryland forever. I'm stuck. I prayed, but it ain't coming. Maybe it just ain't coming fast enough. I don't know. But I prayed. And I just feel like my time is, maybe it's just not meant for me. It's not meant for me to be happy. It's not meant for me to be feeling good. It's not meant for anything. Like, I just want to be happy. I want to feel loved. I want to feel excitement. I want to feel joy. I want to feel all of that, and I don't feel any of that. I always have to keep proving myself. Vouch for myself. Speak up for myself. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of begging and trying to be seen. I'm tired. And this is exactly why I want to go into hiding, because it's more than just a job. It's more than just that. I'm tired of just everything in life. I feel like I'm just trying to just overdo it, and I'm burnt out right now. I just want somebody to see me. I just want somebody to just, "Hey, I got you. I see you. Let me push you. Let me bring you back." Like, I just want, like, "I see you." I don't think I'm good enough for anything. I'm not good enough. And then I start to think, like, okay, am I good enough to even live? Like, dang, nobody ever wants to see the good side of me. What's the point? What is the point? But I gotta put on this happy face that, and just keep answering, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's great. No, it's not. I'm suffering. I'm burnt out. I'm tired. I don't want to do nothing. I give up. I just give up trying to just show my worth. I'm tired. I'm tired. Thanks for listening to my TikTok, but I'm tired.